Greg Powers with Dave Campbell's Texas Football, man, and I'm thrilled to be joined by one of the top recruiting coordinators, assistant coaches in Texas high school football, Charles Hutchins. Man, thanks for joining me today, Coach, and just kind of talk about what it's been like in Marlin this spring with so many. Looking at your Twitter even tonight, you had major colleges coming through there today. What's it been like just having all those guys coming through all the time?
Well, I'll tell you, Greg, it's been a great opportunity for our kids. Just to one thing I really recognize and I tell our guys is that, hey, opportunity it don't just happen like that. But when you get that opportunity and you got guys that's coming in, then you got to take full advantage of it. Like, we're a small school, we're 2A, and I let everybody across the Twitter world know, like, hey, we're a small school, but we have athletes here. And so, as you can see with the Darian Gillette, Marlin, Lawson, Trey John Butler, a couple guys that's in that 23 class who is really setting the example for our kids. So those ones who are in middle school and they're coming up, they're saying it like, hey, man, I don't have to go down the street to up the street to Chilton, to Waco, to Bremont, wherever, to College Station. I can do it right here in Marlin. So it's been great.
A lot of that's probably built off of the success the team had on the field last year, giving those guys a chance to shine deep into the playoffs. What's the atmosphere around the program been like? And I know that there's probably some anticipation to get back out there, lace them up, and make a run for that state championship, because I know that those guys feel a little bit or have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder heading into that 2022 season now.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you this, with the phenomenal football season that we did have, transition into basketball, the things we did in that, and then transition into track, which we're coming off a state run in track. We finished third overall. And so now our guys are like, wow, like right now we're ready for football again. And so it's one of those things where Marlin has gotten back to the place of winning. Had a winning season. Everybody is excited. We have young guys that's coming up that's ready to buy in to what Coach Torres is doing around that. He's been doing a great job, and so it's almost like when you do it, it's like cancer. Like, they ready to go. And so everybody is trying to get on this wagon, and we're trying to take it and do it. So there's a lot of excitement around there.
I think you kind of set up my next question, because I was going to ask you a little bit about Coach Torres and what it takes to be a part of a team like what you guys have put together, because I know the hard work you guys put in behind the scenes to not only have a successful program on the field, but you guys are really working and putting in those extra hours to make sure that your kids there get recruited.
Yes, sir. So, well, I will say, sitting down with Coach Torres, like he wants that. He wants that for our kids, because coming into our program, they do so much. They sacrifice so much. So we make it our best interest to make sure that those who really want to go and play at the next level, that we have a platform set up for those guys to get looked at, And we tell our kids all the time, it's not, everybody's not going to be a Power 5 guy or, a big time Division I or Division II. Like, we got all types of kids that's running around there, like from NIA, D3, D2. And so just making sure that me and Coach Torres are really connecting with coaches and even other coaches on our coaching staff, that we have those connections for our kids. So if they want those opportunities, we're able to open that door for them. So it's been really good. He's been really giving me, the green light and being hands-on with a lot of recruiting, just to help our guys. So it's been great.
I've been in the recruiting game a long time now. Try to help a lot of programs myself as much as I can. And, it's just like one of those things that you have to kind of be on the off hours to be good at it. You have to really study how to be good at it. And all the time I get coaches coming to me and asking, Greg, how can I do something a little bit better to help my kids get exposure? Or, what can I do to get more kids on the radar? You guys have done an excellent job there. Do you have any tips for success for maybe some of the young recruiting coordinators in the game that are watching you do this, how you've kind of built up your strategy there? Is there any keys that maybe, or advice that you would give some of those guys if they ask you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. once again, I paid attention to a lot of guys who have really helped me along the way. I would like to give a shout out to Coach Carpenter, who actually introduced me to you guys on the Next Level Athlete platform. The guy that's at La Vega, of course.
Right.
Give a shout out to head coach Antonio Sinclair, who's a head coach at Lakeview Centennial, and he's really has given me some tips. But one thing for sure, I knew what I had in myself, meaning like I love networking, I love talking to people, and in this profession, if you're going to be a recruiting coordinator, you got to be able to talk, and you can't be afraid of guys. Hey, no, you don't have no guys for us, or yes, we like your guys. And so I think with myself never being afraid of a no from a college coach or whoever, just getting out there, really connecting. Like I use Twitter like for everything, because that's where the coaches are, and like I tell people, like I'm at a 2A school, and in the state of Texas, football is king. So you're talking from 6A all the way down. So you got 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A. That's for classification before you even hit 2A. So my secret is just getting out there talking. And I'm going to push my kids just as hard as any recruiting coordinator that's up in the 6A. Other guys I want to give a shout out to is Coach Mann, who is at Lubbock, out in Lubbock, who came from Cedar Hill. He's gave me some really great pointers on the recruiting thing because he's big with the recruiting. So I'll kind of connected with him. And then also Coach O, who's over at Ferris, who's really took me under his wing, and introduced me to other people. So it's just networking, not being afraid to put your kids out there. You can't be afraid of no.
I think I love that, man. Never be afraid of no. I think that's a really good beacon to shine out there for people, because it is hard sometimes to hear that no,
Yes.
It can be tough. So to be able to take that in stride and try to find those right fits, you have to hear some of those no's to get that, that one very important yes.
Yes, sir.
Now that we talked a little bit about business, man, we get to go to the fun part, which I think is fun because, I love to talk about some of the top players in the Lone Star State, especially when it comes to recruiting. That's my specialty. So I love to talk about these guys, and you guys have one of the best out there, and Darian Gillette. Man, just kind of talk about what the spring has been like, and to have a kid in the program that not only is a great football player on both sides of the ball, really all over the field, whatever you guys ask him to do, he does it. But he's a great basketball player. He's involved in track and field. He just seems to be one of those guys who's around the program. And when you hear him speak, he's such a well-spoken kid. And I'm sure that you guys are really enjoying to see him have some of the success.
Yes, sir. Well, one thing about this kid, Darian, man, he's been here since he was in the 6th grade. So he's been in Marlin since he was in the 6th grade. So going on 6 years. And so for him, man, he's just a phenomenal person, outside of sports, whatever. His family has done a really great job of raising him. He's very humble, works really hard. And when it started out for him, it started out rocky for him because he didn't have a freshman year. He ended up tearing his ACL. Sophomore year, he only played like 3 games. So he didn't get a chance to just really play a full season. So as we were talking going into his junior year, and you see guys on Twitter, his friends and stuff, they getting offers and all of that. So, kids can't help but they get frustrated. So, but just having guys like his dad and family members around along with myself, just telling him, trust the process. Like, you're going to be fine. And so when he really got back up under his feet, he really hit the weights, working hard. And then when he went to the Baylor camp, man, it just took off from there. And so now, like, I tell him, like, this is all you. It has nothing to do with myself, Coach Torres, whatever. Like, he stayed working hard. And now he's seeing he's getting the rewards.
I think you nailed something. I think you nailed something that's really important too. It's great to be able to, and that's something I like to say too, is you have the talent. We're just the guys here that can sometimes be around to recognize it, but it's all you that's put in the work and got you where you are today. And I think that's really important to note. And another thing is it revolves around, Gillette's world is he's still in the market. He's still uncommitted, and that's bringing a lot of eyes to look at some of the other top 2023 guys, on your team right now. And one guy who really jumped out to me when he came to the Next Level Athlete Showcase was Z. Lawson, a defensive back there. He's got a few offers already.
Yes,
is this guy could this be one of those guys who's right there on the verge of blowing up next?
Yes, sir. He's definitely one of those guys. And even like with that kid, he 3.9 GPA, high academic kid, come from, a great family background, just hungry. He did play at College Station, his freshman and sophomore year. He moved back home to Marlin or whatnot. And so, man, he's right now for him, he's sitting on 3 offers. I look for him to, camp a little bit this season, and I look for him to really take off in the summer because he's getting bigger, he's getting faster, he's getting stronger, and he's a ball player. You don't come across too many of those who really have the athleticism and can think ball. So he's another one that's going to take off.
That lightning bolt on the team, man, Trajan Butler. Man, he's a whole lot of fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean,
we call him Tyreek Hill Jr.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is he the guy that, like when he gets the ball in his hands, everybody in the stands holds their breath there. That's kind of the way I see him on that team. He's the guy that the fans probably love to see when he gets his hands on the ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's one of those ones where, like, there could be 3 people around him, but he runs so low to the ground and he takes very good angles. Like, and he's so fast. He was another one of those guys who was at the state track meet, this past week competing in the 100, 4x1, 4x2. And it shows on the field. Like, when he gets the ball, like, we call him Mr. Touchdown because that's where he's getting. Yes, sir. He gets the end zone.
Yeah, and he's already got some attention too. I saw he's already reported a New Mexico State offer, but there's going to be some young ones coming up here over the next couple seasons. One of the class of 2025 guys I know that y'all are high on was Ty Bell. He's another kid who came out to the Next Level camp. Looks like he's on the rise. And Jameer Hartsfield. Why don't you kind of break down, why you guys think so highly of him? He could be that next one in y'all's program that really starts to get some P5 interest, I think.
Well, just for Jameer, like he's hard nosed, like he plays hard. He's long. Right now he's sitting at about 6 foot, 186 as a sophomore right now. I look for him to kind of grow this summer to hit another 2 inches this summer, and he's going to put some weight on. He plays physical. He was one of those guys that, when the offense was running away from Darian, they'll run from him, and that's where Ty Bell, the freshman, was just cleaning up everything. And so he definitely has the athleticism. And I just kind of look into what a lot of recruiters look into linebackers these days. They look for linebackers who can move, who are athletes, who guys who play 3 sports. And he's one of those guys that's really going to be able to take. Like, he has a nose for it. He can cover. He can do all of it. He can walk down in the box. And so he's just special. And he's another one that really takes time to study the game.
Right. Well, I mean, definitely a lot of talent out there, man, and a wealth of knowledge that you have there, and learning, more and more probably every time one of these big-time colleges stops by to chat you up in your office. So, I mean, I appreciate you taking the time to not only educate some of the people who are listening to the program, but to talk about some of those really good talents that you guys have coming back next season. And I do know a lot of people are probably picking to make a run at that state title this year. Absolutely. So a lot of eyes are going to be on Marlin this year, and I'm just happy that you guys are going to be able to enjoy it some.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach Hutchins.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.